Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our document for IC6. So I'm going to hit Create New while I'm in Illustrator. I want to use print size document, and I'm going to go with tabloid. I also want it to be portrait format. I'm going to change my units to inches. You can see it's 11 by 17. You only need one artboard, and just for good habit, always add a bleed, which is 0.125. Now we're good to go, so let's go ahead and hit create. I'm going to back up a little bit.
There must be 12 different images, correct?
Okay, so then now we need to get our images onto our document. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to File, Place. We know that our files are going to be in Assets. We want our Photoshop document. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit Command A to select them all. And we want to make sure that it is functioning as a link. Now it's very important that you don't lose the assets for IC6. And when you save your Illustrator file, you should actually save it inside of this folder as well too. Just so everything is contained together and everything stays organized. Because eventually what you're going to do is you're going to submit this folder on Canvas to me. That way I need to see the layers from Photoshop, and those are going to be in these individual files, separate from your AI file. So I should have an AI file and 12 Photoshop files along with it. So I'm going to hit Command A to place them. And now my cursor is loaded up. I'm going to back up to give myself some space. I'm going to hold down the space bar to access the hand tool. And I'm just going to scoot that over to the side. And now I'm just going to start placing these by clicking. And let me zoom in. I thought they were going to be larger. And what I can do now is I can use my smart guides to make sure that I'm aligning them properly. And then we're going to make rows of 3. Someone is shredding outside. Just like that. Okay, so now they're all loaded up. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select them all. And I'm going to hold the Shift key down and resize them. And now I'm going to find my artboard. I'm going to drag them on top of my artboard. Get the zoom tool. Zoom in. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to redistribute these so that they fit on here nicely. And I'm also going to create some spacing for labels as well. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Align tool to get these nice and straight. And what I like to do is I like to use a shape to determine how big something is. So I'm just going to get just a regular shape, and I'm just going to figure out what this distance is by going to the transform menu, and with this object activated, the width of that is 0.6. Well, so I'll just do Command C to copy, and I'll just delete this shape now. And what I'll do is I will select all of those, get the align tool. We want to align the key object. I want it to distribute this way out. So I'll select the first one. I'll go back to align. Command V to paste that number in. And I'm going to distribute these sideways. Do the same with these. Line. Now what I can do is I'm going to turn my rulers on. So I'll hit Command R for my rulers. If you don't remember that keyboard shortcut, you can always go to View, and your rulers are right here. The reason why I'm going to pull out my rulers is because I want to get a guide going to make sure that these are all nice and aligned properly, and they are. I have nice spacing, so I'm going to delete that guide. Spacing looks good. I'm going to group these all. And now I'm going to center it. It's going to be heavier on the left side of the page for a reason, because you're going to have your categories labeled on this side. So you want a good amount of space right here. This is something you can eyeball. I want you to have somewhat even spacing in the grid. But as far as like how big the images should be, that's something you can kind of space out on your own. But I do want these to be centered in the document. Right there. Cool. Alrighty. So now our document is set up. Our grid and images are now linked in here. I'm going to stop this video so it's not too long.